Good morning. Today, once again, I would discuss chapter number 3, and from chapter number 3, we will discuss very important topic today, that is Wahhabi movement, the period of Wahhabi movement, 1831 to 1870. This we will discuss in details, that how Wahhabi movement started in Arab, how it started in India, and how it is spread, what was its impact. Plus, we will also see very important other topic, that how Wahhabi movement started in Bengal, that is known as BARASAT rebellion of 1831 under the leadership of Titu Mir. That we will discuss later. But now, let us discuss about Wahhabi movement here. Before discussing Wahhabi movement, some terms are there to be used while teaching. I will use some term. Number one, that is Wahhabi. In Wahhabi we will see, in Wahhabi movement we will see that a term will come Wahhabi. What do you mean by the term Wahhabi? Wahhabi means purification. Wahhabi means Renaissance. In your MCQ question may be asked to you that what do you mean by the term Wahhabi? 4 options would be there. So either of the two would be there, Renaissance or purification. Then you would take it. After that, this Wahhabi movement, it was a religious movement of Sunni Islam branch. It was a religious movement of Sunni Islam branch, and its founder was Abdul Wahab of Arab. We will discuss about Abdul Wahab in brief, but little bit information I am giving you here. Abdul Wahab was the real founder of this movement, and from his name Abdul Wahab, from Wahab, the term of Wahhabi has been driven from his name Wahab. From Wahab, Wahhabi it became. So it was a revivalist movement. And this movement was started in Arab, and in Arab there is a place Najm, Najz, Najm, and it was why Abdul Wahab started this movement? At that time in Islam, many vices, evils entered. Actually, we know very well that in Islam 1,24,000 prophets are there, and the last prophet was Prophet Muhammad, be peace upon him. So he was the last prophet, and how he had led his life, what he did in his life, all those things are compiled in a book that is known as Hadith. In English it is known as Hadith. So Quran means Prophet Muhammad, when he was sitting in Mount Hira, so God or Allah had sent and one angel by the name of Jibreel angel. He used to come to Prophet Muhammad and used to give the information, a message of Prophet, a message of Allah to Prophet. Okay, so that continued for about 23 years and few months. And that Prophet Muhammad, which he used to get the message or the revelation of God through Jibreel angel, which used to take place, he used to memorize it. Okay, and that had taken the form of the Holy Quran, and the path led by Prophet Muhammad came to be known as Hadith. That means Quran and Hadith, these two books are integral part. Muslim must follow these two books, the ideology of the Holy Quran and the path shown by Prophet Muhammad, that is Hadith. A pure Muslim must follow it. So Muslims deviated from the teaching of the Quran and teaching of the Hadith of Prophet Muhammad. So Abdul Wahab started this revivalist movement. Why? Because Muslims deviated from the right path as shown by Prophet Muhammad. So this movement is known as revivalist movement. Afterwards we see that at that time many evils. What kind of evils? Shirk. That is shirk. One term has been used here. Shirk. That means shirk means Actually, the meaning of the Islam is total surrender before God or total surrender before Allah. That means Islam. It means, the meaning of the term Islam is total surrender before God. So, there's none but God. The ideology, one ideology of Islam is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's none but Allah, and Prophet Muhammad is his last prophet. If anyone goes beyond this ideology, he is doing shirk. That means Islam is a monotheist religion. Monotheist religion means to follow one God. But if anyone follows Allah besides Allah and accepts other as Allah, so he is doing shirk. That means idolatry. If a person is going beyond this ideology, he is doing shirk. That means he is idolated. Afterwards, it is if anyone mixes anything in Islam, incorporates anything in Islam or in Quran, that means that is bidah. One term is used, bidah. That means innovation in Islam. Islam is a complete religion, and Islam or in Hadith or in Quran, no need to do any rectification, no need to do any innovation. If anyone adds something in the Holy Quran or in Hadith, okay, that is known as bidah. That means innovation in Islam. That is strictly forbidden. Okay, so many such types of things were happening by the Muslims. Okay, so they were doing bidah. That means innovation in Islam, which Islam is strictly prohibited. After that, we see this Wahhabi movement centered around Wahid. That means uniqueness and unity of God. The teaching of Islam or the Wahhabi centered around Wahid. That means uniqueness and unity of God. Okay. After that, as I was telling you that Wahhabi movement was started by Abdul Wahab of Najd of Arab. Okay. So this movement earlier it was started as a religious movement, but later on it took the form of political and economic movement. Okay. Earlier, as I've already told you, that it was a revivalist movement. It was a revivalist movement, but later on, it also got the approach, or it also it had the communist approach. It had the communist. One term I'm using, communist approach. It had it has the communist approach. After that, Wahhabi movement's main objective of Wahhabi movement is to revive the teaching of Prophet Muhammad, and growth of sacred ideology and enhance of religious leader. Actually, we see that when the Wahhabi movement was started, it had enhanced the power and it had enhanced the power, and it had a separate ideology. Okay, and it enhanced the power of the religious leaders who are known as Maulvi. The Maulvis, their power and prestige enhanced after the beginning or after the genesis of the Wahhabi movement. After that, we see that this movement, Wahhabi movement, is also known as Tariqa Muhammadiyah. This Wahhabi movement is also known as Tariqa Muhammadiyah. That means path as shown by Prophet Muhammad. Tariqa Muhammadiyah means path as shown by Prophet Muhammad. I have told you just now that Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet of Islam. So, what path Prophet Muhammad had showed? All his total life, what he had done, how he used to behave with the children, everything, his total life is compiled in a book known as Hadith. After the Holy Quran, it is most revered, most respected book. Okay, so Tariqa Muhammadiyah, what Prophet means to accept the path as shown by Prophet. Okay, the other name of the Wahhabi movement. After that, we see that it was a revivalist movement. As I've already told you that this movement in Islam, many vices, many evils entered, many superstitious beliefs had come into the fold of by the Muslims. They had practiced many superstitious beliefs. They practiced many evil practices they used to do. Okay, so we see that the real propagator of Tariqa Muhammadiyya was Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi. About Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi we will discuss, and his friend Ismail Shah. Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi and Ismail Shah. Now, Ismail Shah in the year 1829, he had written Mustafa Siratul Mustafa. He had written a pamphlet. The friend of Sayyid Ahmad, Ismail Shah, had written a pamphlet by the request of Sayyid Ahmad in the year 1890. The name of that pamphlet is Siratul Mustafa. The straight path. The meaning of Siratul Mustafa is a straight path. It was written in Persian language. Okay, it was written in Persian language, and it had this pamphlet discussed about the path shown by Prophet Muhammad. Anyway, after this we see that the purpose of Sayyid Ahmad and Ismail Shah to start this Tariqa Muhammadiyya, that what Holy Quran says and what Prophet Muhammad had shown in his life, the good Muslim, a pure Muslim, must follow this. And this was the ideology of Wahhabi movement, as stated by Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi of India, who had popularized this Wahhabi movement in India. After that, we see that if we know more about Wahhabi movement, actually it was a movement which instructs its followers about Sufism, about spirituality, how a person would gain it spirituality, how a real experiment to realize the God. That is Sufism and spirituality, the real essence, the meaning of the religion. Okay, that was the purpose and that it was the main guide and the spiritual guide of this Wahhabi movement. Actually, this Wahhabi movement it was initially started in the 18th century, and its spiritual guide was Harral Ahmad Dabbagh. Harral Ahmad Dabbagh was its real guide in 18th century. After that, now we will discuss little bit information about Abdul Wahab. Abdul Wahab's period 1703 to 1787. Abdul Wahab, he started the Wahhabi movement in Nazm, okay, of Arab. And Abdul Wahab, as his name, Abdul Wahab, from Wahab, the Wahhabi, the movement Wahhabi has been extracted from his name Wahab. Okay, and as I've already told you, the meaning of the term Wahhabi means purification or renaissance. After that, another leader, Shah Waliullah, the period of Shah Waliullah, 1703 to 1783. He and his son, Abdul Aziz, both started movement in Delhi, but the movement started by Abdul Wahab and his son Abdul Aziz. It confined only in Delhi. Okay, it confined only in Delhi, but it was popularized in India by Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi. We will discuss about Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi. After that, the very important slogan of Abdul Aziz, that go back to the Holy Quran. It was a very important slogan raised by Abdul Aziz, son of Abdul Wahab, Shah Waliullah. Shah Aziz had given one call, go back to the Holy Quran. It became very, very famous at that time. Now, we will discuss about Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi. If you go to discuss about Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi, he was born in the year 1786 and died in the year 1831. He was born, his name is Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi. Actually, in Uttar Pradesh, there is a place by the name of Bareilly. Bareilly is in Bareilly is situated near Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. That is why this Barelvi is attached to his name, and he came to be known as Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi. Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi, he met Abdul Aziz. He met Abdul Aziz in the year or between 1821-22. 1821-22 he met, and after meeting he was highly influenced by the Wahhabi ideology of Abdul Aziz. After that he went to Makkah, and his ideology of Wahhabi consolidated over there in Mecca. Okay, in Mecca. He returned from there, came to Patna, and after returning from Patna, he went to Shitana. Shitana is a place situated in Northwest Frontier Province. Northwest Frontier Province. In Shitana, or at Shitana, he had established the main headquarter or the main center of Wahhabi movement. Okay, he had founded his main center of Wahhabi movement at Shitana. Shitana is situated in Northwest Frontier Province. Okay, after establishing the center over there, he had got the support from Afghan, he had got the support from Pathan, he had got the support from Maratha. Okay, all these people had supported, but Sikh of Punjab did not support, because there was a clash between Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi and Sikhs, and ultimately what happened? One battle had taken place between the followers of Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi and the Sikh. That battle is known as Battle of Balakot. That battle is known as Battle of Balakot, and it had taken place in the year 1831. And in that battle of Balakot, he died. Okay, so Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi, he died in the year 1831. Okay, after that, if we go to discuss about his political organization, as I've already told you, that it was initially started as a revivalist movement for religion. In Islam, many vices entered. So later on, it had got the status of political and economy. Why? Because now we will see that he had established his political organization. For that, he had formed four caliphs. For his four caliphs were Inayat Ali, Bilayat Ali, Muhammad Hussain, and the last one was Muhammad Hussain, Farhad Hussain. Four caliphs were Inayat Ali, Bilayat Ali, Farhad Hussain, and Muhammad Hussain. They were the four caliphs. After that, if we go to see his political outlook, we know that colonial government established in India. So English, after the downfall of the Mughal, English began to spread their power and prestige in India. So Wahhabis did not like. Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi opposed it, and he condemned it, and he started a war against it. He called India, when the British government established their rule in India. Okay, so he had called the land of India in the presence of English as Darul Harb. Darul Harb means land of enemies, and his political outlook was to convert Darul Harb, that means land of enemy, to land of Islam, Darul Islam. His political outlook was to convert Darul Harb, that means land of enemy, to Darul Islam, land of Islam. This was his political outlook. Anyway, after the demise of Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi in the year 1831, after the battle of Balakot against Sikh. Okay, we see this movement is spread in all over India. Example could be given. It is spread in Bengal, and in Bengal the movement was started by Titu Mir. After that, this movement was started in. This movement also spread in Bihar, and in Patna this movement was organized by Inayat Ali and Vinayat Ali. Afterwards, in Hyderabad, this movement was started under the leadership of Zainuddin. In Jaunpur, this movement was led by Karamat Ali. Okay, and after that, we see this. We see that when Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi, he was killed in the battle of Balakot in the year 1831. So his followers, they had captured Punjab. Okay, so we see between 1850 to 1859, English soldiers, about 35,000 English soldiers were deployed there in Punjab to get Punjab free. We know very well about the history of Punjab, that you all know that second Anglo-Sikh war had taken place 1948-1949, and in the final battle that had taken place during the period of Lord Dalhousie in the month of February 1949, that battle is known as Battle of Gujarat. And by the Battle of Gujarat, Punjab was captured by English. But we see that in spite of being under the, in spite of having their suzerainty over Punjab, English could not get it free from the Wahhabis. And 1850 to 1859, between these time, English had deployed about 35,000 soldiers to get Punjab free from the Wahhabis, but they could not do. They had attempted 16 times, but they were failure. Ultimately, the Wahhabis became so aggrieved that in the year 1872, Lord Mayo was assassinated by the Wahhabis in the year 1872. Lord Mayo was the only Governor General, or in fact Viceroy of India, who was assassinated in India. In the year 1872 by Wahhabis. But very soon we see that under the leadership of Garvok, English general, one battle had taken place. That battle is known as Battle of Lallaur. Battle of Lallaur. In the Battle of Lallaur, Lallaur, English had defeated the Wahhabis. So it was a brief history I have told you about Wahhabi movement in India. Now we will discuss about Barasat rebellion. In Barasat rebellion of 1831, this is also known as Wahhabi movement. Wahhabi movement in Bengal. It was started by Titu Mir. One question had come in the year 2019. That question appeared in MCQ. Okay, that is, what is the real name of Titu Mir? Answer is Mir Nisar Ali. This question appeared in Madhyamik Pariksha in the 2019. Okay, in 2019. One more information, current affair information I would like to tell you, that BBC, okay, British Broadcasting, they had started a survey that greatest Bengali. Okay, they searched who was the greatest Bengali among the two. Who was the greatest Bengali? They had collected. BBC collected 20 names, 20 Bengalis' name. Among the 20 names, Titu Mir's name comes in 11th grade by BBC. BBC conducted that who was the greatest Bengali. So his 20 Bengalis were selected, and out of 20 his name comes to 11th. And this survey was done in the year 2004. Okay, so Titu Mir's status is 11th in BBC's greatest Bengali. Afterwards, Titu Mir, actually Titu Mir was born on 26 January 1782 at Chandpur, that is situated in Narkel Beria, that is in 24 Parganas. Afterwards, he went to Makkah, and after going to Makkah, he happened to meet over there Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi, and he was highly influenced by the ideology of Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi. And about Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi, we have already discussed that he had started the Wahhabi movement in India. He had popularized the Wahhabi movement in India, and Wahhabi movement is also known as Tariqa-e-Muhammadiyya, as a path as shown by Prophet Muhammad. So, if we go to discuss about Mir Nisar Ali or Titu Mir, so he was working under some zamindar, and first-hand information he had got, seeing the zamindar, that how zamindar used to persecute, how zamindar used to torture the poor peasant, poor farmers. Okay, so that was the exposition of the first-hand information he had got. It exposed first time that how zamindars used to expose the farmers and poor peasants. Okay, anyway, afterwards, after meeting Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi, he was highly influenced by his ideology, and he was determined to start the Wahhabi movement in Bengal. Afterwards, he started it also in Bengal. Okay, he started it in Bengal, and he proclaimed himself as Badshah. I have written here, Badshah. He proclaimed himself as Badshah. Okay, he proclaimed himself as Badshah. And for that, he had also founded Basir Kila. That means fortress of bamboos. That is situated at Narkel Baria, 10 kilometers away from Badoria, that is situated in North 24 Parganas. Okay, and he proclaimed for the holy war against the zamindars, against the indigo planters, against the money lenders. Okay, now we will discuss how. And before discussing about Barasat rebellion, we will see that this Barasat rebellion spread like wildfire. In and around Bengal, and at that time Bangladesh was an integral part of India. So we will see that this movement, this movement is spread. Okay, so this movement is spread in Dhaka, Faridpur, Jessore, Mamansingha, Nadia. After that, Pabna, Rajshahi, Rangpur, Srihata, and Tripura. In these areas, the movement is spread. After that, how the beginning started? We can say that there was a zamindar, or we can say money lenders or indigo planters of Purha. Purha is a place in Bengal at that time. Purha, Purha. His name was Krishna Dev Roy. Krishna Dev Roy. He was a zamindar or indigo planter or money lender of Purha. What he had done? He had attacked on the mosques. Okay, and he demanded tax from the Muslim who used to grow the beard. He demanded tax 2.5 rupees as a tax to grow the beard. Okay, to grow the beard. After that, we see that it was not liked by Titu Mir. And if we go to discuss about the objective of this Wahhabi movement, we will see that to revive the Islamic ideology, and as I've already told you, Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi, he had strictly forbidden to go to Mazar, to accept Peer as God. It is Bidah. That means innovation in the Islam. Islam has strictly forbidden. So he had also followed the same ideology. Okay, and his followers, the followers of Titu Mir, came to be known as Hidayati. The followers of Titu Mir, okay, came to be known as Hidayati. Okay, after that, we see Genesis, how the movement began. I have told you that under the leadership of Titumir, we see that Purha, Titumir, along with his 600 followers, 600 Hidayatis, they attacked on the Kila, or they attacked on the mason or house of Krishna Dev Rai. Krishna Dev Rai. The Hidayati looted the property and beaten Krishna Dev Rai, and one oppressive daroga of Krishna Dev Rai was Ram Ratan Chakravarti. Ram Ratan Chakravarti was killed. Okay, Ram Ratan Chakravarti was killed. So that was the beginning of the Barasat rebellion under the leadership of Titumir. His original name Mir Nisar Ali. Afterwards, Titumir also defeated two important English officers. One named Davis, who was the general, and another important officer, English officer, was Alexander. He was the joint commissioner. He was the joint commissioner. So we see that when Davis and Alexander both were defeated, okay, the uprising spread like wildfire, and as per one estimation, the movement or the uprising spread in about 280 miles. In the area of 280 miles, the movement, Barasat uprising or Wahhabi movement in Bengal spread. Okay, and the places of its spread I have already told you. Now, after that, after the uprising started, we see that Titumir proclaimed himself as Badshah. Okay, Badshah, and he demanded tax from the zamindar of Tata, zamindar of Taki. Zamindar of Taki was demanded to pay the revenue. He resented it, and afterwards we see another zamindar was there, that his name is Gobar Dhampur. The zamindar of Gobar Dhampur was also denied to pay the tax. So we see the zamindars of Taki and Gobar Dhampur, they had gone and complained to the English government. Okay, ultimately we see that Mir Nisar Ali, he proclaimed himself as Badshah and founded one fortress. That fortress or that Killa is known as Basir Killa, the fortress of bamboo. As I've already told you, that fortress was founded at Narkilberia, 10 kilometers away from Badoria in North 24 Parganas, along with his 600 Hidayati or 600 followers of Titumir.